Hey, yo, what's up? You know it is. Your boy TDG in the building. Welcome back to Run That Rex, everybody. I'd like to welcome y'all to the end game of Super Mario Brothers. You know, every Run That Rex will end with one of these vlogs about explaining the run. And if there was anything that I failed to mention, or things that you might need to know, or things I want to talk about, but you get to hear me speak, because I like hearing myself. So if you don't like hearing me, I like hearing me. That's why I make this shit. And yo, I'm looking fresh as a motherfucker today. So, you know, I'm feeling real good. But seriously, yo, we're finishing the prayer. I just honestly just want to take a second, you know, and really explain the run of Super Mario Brothers, and honestly sit up here and explain partially why it took 3 months for me to play one game. It kind of breaks down like this. First of all, I had real other stuff to do other than play Super Mario Brothers, so I get up and I be bored, or I get up and I have to go do something, and a lot of times I will sit down and be prepared to play a game and then something will come up. A lot of the other reason has to do with something that I didn't share and something that you didn't know about the run, was that I was playing under what I like to call old school rules, where you sit up here and you make it a little bit challenging for yourself. And the challenge for this game was make it from 1-1 to 8-4 with the same firepower you got in 1-1. With the caveat is that because I had to play the game using an emulator, because there was no other way I could have pulled that off because of the technology that I do have available, was that the only caveat I gave myself is that every time I get through a world from the beginning to the end, I'm allowed to make a save state at that world. So if anything was to happen, like say if you make it through a world, then you save it, then you play, then you get hit or you die, you go back to that previous save state at the beginning of that world and you play until you get through all of those stages with the firepower without getting hit. Now, there were a lot of cool outtakes I wish I wouldn't have saved, but you know, I'm one of those dudes, I hate to take a look at my failures. I'm like, cool shit may happen, but if it's something that happened and it goes against the whatever, I just throw it out. There were a lot of like cool little things that took place that you know that you'll never get to see. I'm not going to go into depth of discussing the thing. It was cool ways I was grabbing one-ups and, you know, ways I was killing bullet bills and almost death and then end up dying. And the one other thing that was a thing that stopped a lot of the runs in the track, I wanted to 5,000 every flagpole. So there were runs where I would get to like the end of like a third of the third level in the world, and I would hit a 2,000 and it would end the run. That happened a whole lot. That you know that one of my other goals was I want to 5,000 every flagpole. So I had a set of things that I want to accomplish and do. That also one of those things was making sure that I show you where all the hidden one-ups were. That the ones that you collect by coins anyway. I think I showed you all the other hidden one-ups in the run as well. I wanted to do that. There were little tips and little tricks I wanted to show off, and if I couldn't get that correctly, that's what took 8 a long time to come out, because that little trick in the beginning, if you go back and watch part 8 where I hit that Buzzy Beetle and I get all 6 Goombas, that takes a lot of practice to do. That you have to hit the Goomba, hit it enough, and then you have to listen for it to bounce off the pipe so that the other 3 Goombas or the other 3 Goomba sprites are drawn into the game and then show up and get hit. Now, in reverse of that, something that I touched on a little bit but didn't, that when I talked about the comparisons of Super Mario World, that was the one major difference other than the physics of the game that was different. That a lot of the reason why there are more enemies on the screen on Super Mario All-Stars, on that version than the one on Nintendo, was because of how the Nintendo handles sprites versus the Super Nintendo being more powerful. So it can handle all of that at once, so that all of the enemies. So you're playing more of a pure version of a game with physics that don't match up with its original, but they have a hack for that. So if you really need to play OG Mario Brothers with the correct jump height or the run and stop mechanics, they have a hack for that. So go Google that shit now. But I had a fun time playing Super Mario Brothers, and you know, even though all of the extra stuff that I gave myself as a challenge, which is one thing I will never do again without giving a disclaimer at the beginning first. that I really don't think in the future when I do run that Rex video that I'm gonna play games and give myself old school rules and stuff like that. Whatever happened, because you know I have to take. It's like now that I look at it, I have to take the same approach in playing a playthrough than I do when I make playthrough videos for like certain fighting games. Like when I show you guys like stuff for like Kamen Rider and you know like the recent Rurouni Kenshin video where you know people sat up here and told me about those videos that you should just get straight to the point. That you shouldn't show when you fuck up. That you shouldn't show this. Two things about that. Number one, I have to show that I'm human just like you. People fuck up. It happens. On top of that, I'm triple to God. I do whatever the fuck I want. So if I want to sit up here and make a 30-minute video and explain every switch available to Forza and Kamen Rider Climax Hero Forza, I'll do that shit. And if you don't like it, you can suck my dick. How about that? So don't make a wise ass comment like that no more. We gonna do things the way we do. So you know, I've learned that in the future that I'm just gonna let it ride. Shout out to Fastlane. You gotta let it ride. Like you know what you wanna do when you get out of work? We gonna go to ride. I'm gonna go watch Fastlane. Fuck that, I'm gonna go watch Fastlane, real talk. But yeah, but you know in the future I'm just gonna record it and I'm gonna get it done and I'm gonna let it ride. That you know it may be I may have to start over because there was something I needed to do or something like that. But other than that, if I die, if I get hit, fuck it, let it ride. Just show it in its pure form, and we just gonna do that. So expect this game and games going forward. You know, unless there's one or two games that I'm playing in particular, or games that I'm gonna be resetting a lot because certain things have to be set up in a correct way. But hopefully by then the HD version of that game will come out, and then you know then I'll be able to play the HD version of that game. So I'll be keeping the name of that game to myself, and that game and me playing it is a far off way from right now for not the game I'm gonna play immediately now or the next game or the next game or the next game or the next game. But that game, I want to play that game because that is one of my most favorite games ever, and I'm gonna play that shit. And no, I'm not talking about Future Rage. Me and Jay, we gonna get on that shit. We are going to do that shit right there. We gonna do that. But that is it for the end game of Super Mario Brothers The Run That Rex. You know, like I said, because I've learned a lot about old school rules and just, you know, fuck it, you know, just record the shit, get the commentary down, let it ride, put it out. That, you know, that in the span of it took me to play the game the way I wanted to, I could have played 3-4 games in the span of 3 months, put commentary out on it, and been done. But, you know, you live and you learn, and that's just one of the things that you just got to do. But I'm finna go ahead, I'm finna get out of here. I'm gonna go and get this up so y'all can see it and whatnot. Expect some more stuff this week. I'm gonna try to convince Jay to get on the damn phone, and we gonna do a 2 niggas speak on, cause God, we are way overdue for that shit. And I got a little vlog coming about some shit that's been on my chest, but we'll get into that when that comes. So I'm gonna go ahead, like I said, I'm gonna get out of here. You know this, it's Triple the Gang, Gaming Summer One Dope, man. You know we get it the fucking like we always do, man. So y'all know how to get at me by now. I don't need to repeat all that shit, you know. Thank you for watching, the 5 people that actually do, and the rest of y'all that come trickle in. Thank you. So, I'm gonna get out here. You know what it is. It's your boy TDG, man. I'm out here. Holla back.